We ask you to give us an abundance of empathy. We ask you for an abundance of compassion as we seek to be good stewards of all that you have given us, all the resources that you have given us. I ask a special blessing, Jehovah Rapha, over our chairman, Elton Dean. I ask that you touch his life physically, heal his body, boost his spirit, Father, and bring him back to this commission to continue to serve the people of Montgomery County alongside of us. We ask that you give him peace and sustain him as his body heals. Father, thank you again for everyone who is here, all the ones who are suffering and hurting and crying out for you. Let us be reminded that he who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. And in spite of the circumstances, in spite of the winds and the rains, in spite of the overwhelming evil that abounds all around us, he who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. And we look to you for our strength and our sustaining power. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Join me in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call roll now. Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Walker.
Present.
Commissioner Sankey.
Present.
Vice Chairman Singleton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, with the speakers list, we would, again, due to consideration of the time, if you would limit it to 3 minutes. First up is Caroline Howard, the Greater Madison Park Neighborhood Association.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Carolyn Howard, and the Vice President of the Greater Madison Park Neighborhood Association. And we have just a few of Madison Park with us here. We just, raise your hand, Madison Park. We here. We only, and I'm not going to take up, hopefully not even 3 minutes of your time this morning. I only have just one major question, but before I ask that question, I have some reasons why we want to ask the questions. Right now, we have a young lady here with us who is having her dream home built in Madison Park. She can't get a septic tank. She can't find the people to get it done. If we had the septic system already, the sewer system already in place, she wouldn't have to have that problem. We have people who are businesses who are moving into Madison Park. What we would like to have homes being built in Madison Park rather than businesses, because Madison Park is a community and not one of business. If we had the necessary things that we needed, we wouldn't have to worry about people not wanting to come, because we would have what they needed when they got here, when they get to Madison Park. And my own personal experience just a few weeks ago, it was during the time when we were having the cold, and we had to have our drip our faucets because it was freezing. Well, one Sunday morning, my husband and I came home from church. The toilet had bagged up into the bathtub. Our old septic system could not carry the extra water of the dripping of the water for a couple of days. So the system backed up. We can't afford. My husband is disabled veteran. I am a retired state employee. We don't have that kind of money that it takes to go in and do another field lines. We're talking the thousands of dollars here. We don't have that type of money. So what we want today, and then we know that the governor has appropriated some funds for water and sewer. We know that the American Rescue Act, the money, parts of it is already here. And we know that the infrastructure bill has been passed. And we know that the money has not been distributed as of now. But what we want to ask you is with this government, the money that the government has appropriated for sewer and water, if you will make the application, or if you intend to make the application for the help with the Madison Park sewer system.
Yes, ma'am.
And you will make, the April 1 deadline.
It's been discussed with Montgomery Water Works, I know, and they told us that they would fill out the application for that. Because not only Madison Park, we have other neighborhoods, Macedonia, Hunter Station, Atlanta Highway, Bell Road, and I'm very familiar with what you're saying about backing up, because I'm on septic myself.
Yes.
And when my daughters take those long, my wife takes those long showers, I know exactly where you're talking about.
Right, right. But this, in Madison Park, the whole community is going through the very same thing, especially with the soil being as it is, and it's not we just think that it's time that Madison Park is being given the things that we have been promised for all these years, and we've never been able to get it all. We don't have many of the city services that we should have as a community. And we're just asking right now for this, because it's the most important thing right now to advance Madison Park, is to get the sewer system in place. And we would thank you for any system.
And you have the best advocate.
I know,
This guy
I
right
know,
here.
I know. He keeps us informed on what's going on. We cry to him daily, weekly, and he knows us all by name, much of Madison Park, because he's in communication with us at all times. And we appreciate him for what he has done for us, and we hope that the whole council, the commission, would take heed from him and help us, because it's going to take more than one.
Exactly. And I can
Believe me, ma'am, this is a high priority for both the city and the county. You're in the city.
Yes.
The city council and the commission are committed to making sure that everybody who lives inside of the city of Montgomery, who wants to be on city water and sewer, is on city water and sewer.
Well, we thank you.
This money that you're talking about it's been available for more than a year.
Yes.
I learned about it by accident on a phone conversation. That Waterworks had turned down the opportunity to apply for it. We got right on it. And that was a little over a week ago that we first learned about it. Now, I don't know if Isaiah Sankey knew about it or not, but he was on the same call I was on when I learned about it. And I followed up on it. And right now, if the Waterworks does not make the application, the county will make the application.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, that's not to say we're going to get it. What the application does, don't be misled, because it doesn't, because you apply doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Yes.
It puts you in line to get it. There are over almost 40 other counties that have already completed their applications and applied. The money it's not infinite, it's finite. It's finite, so we don't know, it's not enough money everybody is asking. These are some expensive projects that you're talking about.
I understand.
So we're late. We're going to try to get it in by April 1st. If we do, we're in line. We're in the hat, so to speak. But you can't win if you don't have a chance if you're not in the hat. So we get in the hat.
That's
So
right.
that's what's happening on this commission. Nobody is arguing against Madison Park or any other part of the city or on this water sewer. It's a problem. It's a problem that should have been addressed long ago.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I don't think you're going to get any disagreement on that. But there are other people that are in charge of this money. By the time it gets to us, a lot of it has already been allocated.
Let me remind you, 48 years ago, Randy Thomas, before he became circuit judge, and I filed a lawsuit against the city. Madison Park had no water, had no sewage, and they were paying taxes like every other community. Now, there's a court order out there. God, I can't find it after 48 years. But we won, and they got it to do it. Now, that court order should still be in effect, just for your knowledge.
Thank you, thank you.
Ms. Howard, thank you all for coming so much. I appreciate that. If the citizens are not engaged, I can assure you that nothing much is going to happen. we need to get in line. We don't have any problem standing in line. We've been standing in line all our
Absolutely,
lives,
absolutely.
waiting on change to
Absolutely.
come. So we're going to continue to stand in line. Commissioner Harris, I appreciate you. You had for being a strong advocate. I only found out when you found out I was on the call with you, so we didn't know anything about it. But when we sat down initially to talk about the American Rescue Plan Act, Treasury guidelines made it very clear, without a shadow of a doubt. You didn't need no consultants. You didn't need anybody to tell you what Treasury guidelines said. A person with an 8th grade education was capable of understanding it, that water and sewer was certainly a permissible use for the money. That was very clear. It didn't take any study. And we also talked about how we needed to find additional resources for money, that we knew that these water projects are expensive. The $44 million we got, the $41 million that the city got was not going to be adequate. And we talked in detail about how we needed to find more money. This money is available. For some reason, we didn't know about it up until the last minute. And so someone has not been diligent in terms of finding where the money is, but it is there. And we're going to continue to advocate for putting that application in to meet that April 1st deadline. The state of Alabama got $2.1 billion. I was saying from the very beginning, some of that money could have been used to help fund some of these water and sewer projects. The governor allocated half of her 2.1 billion, 1.5 billion was allocated for different reasons. ADM has millions of dollars of that money. And thank you all for coming. Thank you for advocating on behalf of your community. If you don't bring the people into the process, nothing's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And so we appreciate you all so much. Continue to be vocal and vigilant.
Absolutely. You will be seeing us whenever it's necessary. Thank you.
If it's all right, I found out about it in the paper. I saw it in the paper with Lowndes County. That's where first time I saw it, so it was in Lowndes County. But thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Pat Clark, Montgomery County Historical Society.
Thank you for allowing me to come up here and introduce myself. I blindsided you with a letter today. I apologize for that. But yesterday, I tried to talk with Commissioner Sankey, and I did talk with Commissioner Harris to kind of get some advice about how to approach this. I realize that my request bears no gravity like everybody else here, and I feel kind of silly following that request to ask for money for a historical society. But it does fund the operations of that society and the oldest brick residence in Montgomery. It's an 1837 house, and trust me, it requires so much maintenance and renovation, and we're at the point where we need an elevator. That's a big ticket item, like a sewer system, sort of. But I can understand your consideration of all the needs might make you think we don't really need this. But on the other hand, as a history organization here in Montgomery and the county, we are kind of the keepers of the records and the stories, and we want to keep on doing that, and we want to be more available to the community. We have just added the Montgomery Genealogical Society with all their brilliance, and they are going to create, that we have already created, the Family History Center within our building so that anybody can come in and work on their family tree and get knowledge about how to do ancestry research and genealogy. So we're encouraging everybody to come in. And then it occurred to us, well, we really do need handicap access. In an 1837 house, it's hard to find a spot to put an elevator, even if you can. So we are now considering trying to put it on the outside if we can get funding and if we can get permission from the Historical Commission. But I realize that's not your problem. However, staffing so that we can keep going on these projects is important. And unfortunately, it's my job I'm lobbying for here. So needless to say, I like to get paid, and anybody else would too. But it's a very, very important job, and somebody's got to be doing it, whether they get paid or not. And frankly,
Ms. Clark, what happened? Have you spoken with the city? Is the city still on board with?
well, the city is in the same place they were the last time we talked with y'all. They will donate 60% if you will donate 40%. And so it's a chicken and an egg problem in a way. We have to start with you guys.
40% amounts to how much?
Well, the whole thing is $60,000. Now, that was my salary 4 or 5 years ago. So frankly, I could ask for more, but I'm not. So anyway,
$24,000 from the county.
It was 24,000 from the county and 36 from the city. And I know it sounds kind of superfluous in light of the other things, but it's important.
Why was it discontinued? What happened? Why didn't?
COVID happened, and we really kind of shut down. I worked from home for a long time, and the schedule got ahead of us. Your meetings just simply weren't at the top of my head during COVID. And I'm the one who missed the agenda and, you know, the budget and everything else, so I take full responsibility. So all I can say is we do a lot of grant applications. I have big ones out right now, and happy to do more. In fact, I could help with that application for Madison Park if they wanted any help. So I will do that on my own time. I used to do water resources and water quality permits for Frito-Lay, so.
So hopefully Waterworks
kinda-
will do that one.
Yeah, I'll call them, but I don't know who to call. Anyway, I would be happy to help, so. At any rate, we ask for your consideration, and the explanation, a better one, is in the letter that I left with you, and I'll try to get on the agenda next time.
It's the Montgomery County Historical Society.
Right, and we're
So,
gonna add, and Family History Center to
I
the name.
don't have a problem with it.
Good.
Cheryl, was that in the budget? How do we fund
I
it?
didn't think so. Yeah, we have to
How did we
continually
fund it?
ask.
Just. Okay,
It would be lovely if it were a budget item.
that's a tough nut.
Yes, it is, I know. I understand completely.
But
Thank you for your time.
May I have your contact information, please?
Yes, I sent you an email.
You did?
It's Pat
What?
Clark, that's okay.
You sent it? I didn't see
Pat
it.
Clark
Yes,
at
ma'am.
mchsal.org. That stands for Montgomery County Historical Society, Alabama.org.
Thank you.
So I'll shoot you a letter. and
Thank you so
give
much.
everything. Thank you.
Vice Chairman Singleton, I recommend we put that on the next agenda and fund it this year.
no objection here.
Okay, next agenda, we'll talk about it.
Thank you all so much.
From designated or discussed at the next
We'll
meeting?
just, let's discuss it further, and then we'll talk about it.
All
for the
right.
next meeting. Kevin King, the King's Canvas.
Morning.
Morning.
All right. So I'm just here to personally say thank you for what you all did for us a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to one of my neighbors, Mr. Julius, who has a piece of property across the street from the King's Campus. He's a truck driver, and he parks his rig there. And I walked over one day and talked to him, and he just kind of looked around, and he said, you know, Kevin, man, I love what's going on here. I've been living in this community for a long time. We're in the Washington Park community on the 7 of Montgomery March Trail on Oak Street. And he said, this place had no life. This place was dead. Then he did one of these numbers and flipped over his wrist and put those 2 fingers on the back of his wrist, and he said, there's a pulse again. This community now has a pulse because of what's going on, and you need to keep doing it. And so I'm thankful for you all. I'm thankful for County Commissioner Walker, you know, Commissioner Isaiah Sankey, for seeing the vision early on and giving the funds or designating the funds so we could do something as simple as painting a mural on the side of our building to say, welcome to West Side Montgomery. A lot of times when people look at artists, they look at us as people who provide decoration and entertainment. But one of the things that I've been trying to do for the last 4 or 5 years in Montgomery is to demonstrate the fact that the arts is a direct conduit to address community and economic issues, economic development issues in smaller neighborhood business districts. And because of those funds that you all designated, that's going to further that cause. I remember around November 2019, I was talking to someone about some of the plans that we had. And it's kind of hard for people to understand, what does art have to do with building community? What does art have to do with economic development? And I said, man, in a couple of years, this neighborhood won't look the same. And it doesn't. It's further along than I thought it would be around this time. And I'm going to say it again, because of the funds that you've designated, and hopefully others will come, this neighborhood is not going to look the same 2 years from now, because it now has a pulse, and you have community leaders or neighbors like Mr. Julius and a lot of others in our community who now have hope again. And I thank you all for understanding and seeing the vision and being a part of that. And I just wanted to come up here and say thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Well, when is the coffee shop coming? I need to come around and get me some mocha or something. When?
Well, Thankfully, Fred and Anthony Brock, that's who you're referring to, and that's not my coffee shop. They're opening up the coffee shop and bookstore next to the King's Canvas because of the mural and the people that it drew. So they just signed their lease. They're in the demolition process right now. And so Anthony and I having a meeting this week. We have art classes over there every day at Valiant Cross, Monday through Thursdays, really. And so I'm going to get a timeline on that, but I'm not necessarily in control of when those guys move in. They had to start a separate 501c3 separate from Valiant Cross School, so it's called Valiant Books on Oak. They do have it. They're assembling their board. They done demolition. They even received a large donation from a local church, and I was there when they received it. So they have money in hand. They are about to get started. And besides that, next door to them, we're trying to figure out what restaurant is going now. So for the first time in I don't know how long, you got about 5 restaurants that are fighting to get in that little location because they see the growth and development that's happening on that corner. No one wanted to be there. A vacant, abandoned building and a vacant lot. Both of them have been activated, and people, it's thriving, or it's on the road to thrive. So.
And Kevin, you know, I hope people realize and are inspired by the fact that you were, I'm not giving you all the credit, I know it was a lot, but you were really the genesis, and it took hard work and building relationships. And look what can happen.
Absolutely.
And I hope that inspires a lot of people to, you know, when they feel overwhelmed or hopeless or this is never going to work, just do it.
That's right.
And you did it, and you built relationships, and you didn't take your foot off the gas. So thank you for what you're doing.
Appreciate you.
And how you're allowing God to use you in that area, and look at the growth. It's
Amen.
exciting.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate y'all.
You were at Common Ground with Brian, right?
Right. I'm co-founder of Common Ground.
I never would have seen this coming this way when I met you guys out there.
Yeah.
I helped to put, your air conditioner had gone out or something.
Right.
The unit had gone out over there, and you needed some money for that, and I helped. And I came out there and visited you. You and Brian were in there then.
Yes, sir. I remember then. Common Ground is still going. I left in 2019 to start the King's Canvas.
Yeah.
But, you know, they still over there doing good work. So,
I mean, you guys really have done a lot. There's Mercy House and Common Ground and your work.
Yes, sir.
Doing a lot of good work. God's work.
Good people doing good things.
Appreciate you.
And everybody needs to know what's going on. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, Kevin, thank you. American Association for Children, William Gilliard.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
Commissioner Walker, the words that you just spoke to him encouraged me. Do you remember what you just said to him?
I do.
It encouraged me
Good.
to keep coming.
Oh, well. That was an unintended consequence. He doesn't come very often.
I thought you was going to say to keep thinking big.
Right, to keep working hard.
All of the above. But the point is that you encouraged me with what
glad.
you just said.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you and what you did for Crime Stoppers. I read the article, every word. And this past Sunday, someone that has been impacted by Think Big reported a situation to Crime Stoppers. And what I learned from that experience was that the answer to gun violence begins with solving the family problem, because many of the gun violence problems are family problems. This happened Sunday. when someone pulled a gun on a family member. And he reported to Crime Stoppers because the house was full with guns and drugs. And so thank you, because it's good to be proactive. Now, I said before and I'll say again, the least said, the more remembered. So I'm going to be very simple. I've been networking with Dr. Denise Dukes for quite a while. I've been networking with Kevin King for quite a while. As a matter of fact, he and I are alumni from Tuskegee. And he is already committed to do a mural in my neighborhood on Rosa Parks called Think Bigger, Don't Pull That Trigger. I want to tell you today, in no uncertain terms, that the key to turning things around in terms of gun violence has to go through gate one, the eyes. They've got to see it. The ears, they've got to hear it. The heart, they've got to feel it. And the mind. People have to be transformed by the renewing of their minds. And so I'm beginning to work with Ken Austin now, and we've seen 2 people come to Jesus in the last month from out of that neighborhood. I want to say that we're well connected. We simply need your help. Commissioner Sankey gave us the money to set up the first video. I'm asking you all to chime in, please.
Thank you, Brother Levi.
Thank you.
That's all, Florence.
We'll have a public hearing at this time.
Declare the public hearing is open for the Rancho El Paraiso event on March 19th. Is there anybody here to speak on that? If not, declare the public hearing closed.
We'll consider the minutes of the regular meeting of March 1, 2022.
Can't vote.
Here it comes. You got it now, it's coming up, should be.
Move approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Doug,
No, I voted.
not showing.
Yeah, it's showing on mine. Not showing on y'all's?
It's shown on mine.
Yeah, now it is.
Okay.
Consider accounts payable checks and payroll checks 3/15/22.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider alcohol license application for special events retail for Festival Latino on March 19th, 2022.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider inmate excess medical policy renewal for risk management.
So moved.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider amendment number 2 to a contract with Horne LLP.
So moved.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider miscellaneous appropriations to agencies with the addition of $1,000 each from Commissioners Harris and Vice Chairman Singleton to the Bell Road YMCA for the
Montgomery Fire.
Montgomery Fire AAU basketball.
Move approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider miscellaneous appropriations to education.
So moved.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider miscellaneous appropriations from designated revenue with the addition of $30,000 from joint infrastructure to the Hate Less Foundation, $5,000 to Rosa Parks Museum for the Juneteenth celebration, and $25,000 from joint to the Sheriff's Office for community events.
Move approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider budget change request number 8 for engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider position fill request for the detention facility for 3 corrections officer trainees.
Move approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider a position fill request for personnel for an administrative support specialist.
So moved.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered. Got a second?
Did I second?
Yes.
Okay.
Consider position fill request for the sheriff's office for 2 deputy sheriff trainees and 1 part-time deputy sheriff.
Move approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered. Stuck on it?
Yeah, stuck on move.
I second it.
Consider travel training requests for the commission, community corrections, detention, risk management, and the sheriff's office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any objection? So ordered.
Consider a waive rule item for a parameters resolution regarding the proposed issuance by the Montgomery County Public Building Authority of its Revenue Warrant Series 2022 and authorization of execution of related documents.
This is not a waiver rule, is it? This is a waiver rule?
Yes.
No objection, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise opposed. So ordered.
That's all our items.
Mr. Attorney,
No, thank you.
Deputy Administrator. Commissioner Harris,
No, thank you.
Commissioner Walker,
I don't have anything.
Commissioner Sankey.
Yes, we had a great event on Saturday, had a forum on air property and how air property might contribute to blight. So I just want to briefly take this opportunity to thank Alabama Legal Services, the Capital City Bar Association, and the other attorneys that volunteered their time to have one-on-one consultation with some of our citizens. Thank you.
I heard the food was good too, and big turnout.
Not to mention the food. And it was really, I expected the turnout, but I was still overwhelmed by the number of people who were waiting in the parking lot before we got started in the cold. So people need information that's going to help change their behavior and better their way of life.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the amount of people there. I was shocked.
Thank you for coming, by the way.
Exactly, so. Chairman Dean has continued to improve. He's in rehabilitation now, which is a great sign. So just, if you would, just keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he continues to recover. And I have a couple of cards up here, and you're a part of his family, especially one still here in this meeting today. You're here, so if you want to come sign a card or sign both cards, please do so. I'll probably take one card today and then take another card next week. So he'll get a card a week. So if you would, please come, feel free. I'm going to leave him up here for a few minutes if you want to come sign the card and write a little personal note to Chairman Dean. So.
Mr. Vice,
Yes.
while you're on that, I saw Elton Dean Jr. at the ballpark out at AUM on yesterday. He wanted me to tell everyone that his dad was making progress, and he's encouraged by the progress that he's making. He wanted me to share that with you all. I saw him out there. We were practicing for the game tonight. That might get rained out.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. So.
Mr. Vice, I move adjournment.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Dan, will you formally vote on that?
Do I need to do something?
You need to move it.
About Madison
We
Park.
need-
Let me tell you,
get with you on that.